question everything and not accept things for how they are. And this reminds me a lot of the monkey ladder experiment.
I've been wanting to talk about this monkey ladder experiment as long as I've been making videos, and this is finally good framing for it. As it goes, there's 5 monkeys in a room with some tasty looking bananas on top of it, so theoretically they could just climb up and get the bananas. But whenever one of them starts climbing the ladder, all the rest of them get sprayed with cold water. So they start enforcing a no climbing the ladders policy on each other. And anytime any one of them gets too close to the ladder or starts climbing it, the others will beat the crap out of it because they don't want to get sprayed with cold water. But before too long, none of them attempt to get up the ladder, fearing retribution. And then they start replacing monkeys, and now a monkey that's never been sprayed with water is getting beat up and learns that we just don't go up there. And eventually, all 5 monkeys are replaced. And they continue enforcing the us monkeys don't climb the ladder rule, even though none of them have ever been sprayed with cold water for it. It makes for a good story, but it never actually happened. But the moral is good, and it's a good allegory for human behavior in society. And I think the creator I stitched was right in the conclusion, despite the fact that the supporting evidence was made out of whole cloth. The story seems to have first appeared in the 1996 self-help business book called Competing for the Future by Gary Hamel and C.K. Prahalad. And then it was repeated by other self-help business books. They may have heard of an experiment called cultural acquisition of a specific learned response among rhesus monkeys, and then decided to zhuzh it up a lot. This experiment had 4 pairs of monkeys instead of 5 monkeys. It would put one of them in a cage with an object to mess with. I saw someone say that the objects were plastic cutlery, but I didn't see in the paper itself that they mentioned what the objects were. Whatever it was, when the solo monkey in a cage touched or manipulated the object, the researchers would punish it with a blast of air. And eventually it would learn not to mess with the object in the cage. Then they would put the other one in there to see if the conditioned fear response would be transferred to the other one that was naive of the air blast punishment. And some of the fear-conditioned monkeys would look fearful themselves when their partner would approach the object. But only one of them tried to pull their partner away from it. And in half the cases, when the conditioned monkey saw that their naive partner wasn't punished for manipulating the object, they lost their fear response and then would manipulate the object themselves. Now that I'm looking at this picture closer, it looks like the object was a cup. So they didn't really enforce the rule, and they even lost their conditioned fear response. And the authors of the paper, like most good scientists, were also keen to point out that their sample size was super small. So yeah, it's good to question everything and look things up for yourself and question what you find too. And like she was saying, don't just accept things for how they are. It's all too easy to follow the herd.